Nitya.
My name is Marshall.
My name is Nitya Jnanatmananda Maharaj, and we're coming to you live from Thiruvannamalai. So yeah, basically we just wanted to share some of what's going on mostly. You know what you feel.
Well, so about a week ago we came from Bangalore, adheenam, to come to Thiruvannamalai adheenam just to have a vacation after Mahasadashivoham, hang out with Swamiji, and we've been doing a lot of power manifestation, and we've been really getting to know each other and like reorganizing how this year is going to happen. So like the dynamic has switched more from like complete and work out your inner stuff to get to that higher space to be able to manifest powers, but like we're getting a lot more advanced with the Shaktis and everything, that like when we can use these Shaktis to reach that state of completion, so all your completions just happen, like all the incompletions just go away because you put yourself in a state of completion through doing power manifestation. So that's kind of the switch to this year. Instead of like focusing so much on doing completion and working through your stuff, you're just gonna power manifest, and that's gonna break away all your incompletions. And that the dynamic of the adheenam is just in like a lot more powerful state since Mahasadashivoham. So we're here really organizing ourselves for what's going to happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. So Marshall, can you tell me and us when and how you found out about Swamiji?
Yeah, so how I found out about Swamiji kind of came from a lot of things. Like, I for the past few years, I've been just on this constant seeking mission, trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, since I'm 22 now, about to turn 23, and like, I just didn't feel satisfied with trying to find my career and just doing the day-to-day stuff to get by and survive. I knew there was much more than that. I was tired of just sitting watching TV, distracting myself and all that. So I was just constantly seeking ways to heighten my consciousness, whether it be psychedelics or meditation techniques or just like observing what's going on around me. So eventually I went vegan because I knew what was going on to the animals, and how they're being treated was affecting everybody directly because we're all one. And I was really starting to understand that state of oneness. And when I gave all that up, a lot of the karma I carried and a lot of the limitations that come from taking in animals, all the adrenaline they get, all the fear they feel like before they die, and that being put into my body and my biomemory. Once that started to leave my system, my state of consciousness got a lot more clear, and I got a lot more intuitive. And when I did that, I started seeing a lot more synchronicities and how everything is connected in life. And all in that time period, I started to learn about Shiva, and like basically it was really interesting because my friends would start talking about Shiva. I was just seeing it pop up on like YouTube and everything, and I had known nothing about Hinduism or Shiva at that point. Mm-hmm. So I just spent, like, when I wasn't at school or working, I spent time learning about Shiva and what he represents and all that. And after like 9 months, once I got out of school, I could really dive into it. And I realized this is what I'd been looking for. This explains that this is like the true science of staying in that higher state of consciousness, becoming like self-realized. So I realized I was a devotee to Shiva. And when I realized that, a couple days later, Swamiji just appeared on YouTube after I did some mantra. So I was doing Shivoham 108 times. So it was the same day I got Rudraksha malas. And when he appeared, it was a video on Haritaki and all the benefits of Haritaki, like how it increases the oxygen in your blood to like 300% and helps your digestion, decalcifies the pineal gland, all that. And I when I saw Swamiji, I didn't really cognize who he was. I couldn't take it in. But I started taking Harataki, and I started detoxing even more at that point. And I was reading like the Shiva Sutras and the Vijnana Bhairava and stuff like that. And I started collecting like Shiva Linga stones, and I was getting really into high frequency crystals, and I was doing all these meditation techniques. And a couple months of that, I came across Swoopa Priya's videos on high frequency crystals and enlightenment, and she was talking about the Atma Linga, and then at that point I really started to cognize who Swamiji was, and I watched a video about the adheenam and how you can be an adhinavasi here, and that connected me more than even realizing who Swamiji was. And I was like, I want to come here. I've been looking for something like this for so long. I'm willing to drop all my things I identify as a person to come here. And when I did that, I had this like instant switch that went off in my being that was just intense bliss and euphoria. I was like, yes, you finally have realized why you're alive. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And I realized at that point, Swamiji is my guru. This is too profound. And it kept me up all night, the bliss I was feeling. I did more research and watching videos, and I found out, I come to realize that Swamiji is an incarnation of Sadashiva, and that's why all those synchronicities of learning about Shiva and getting to this point now, why all that happened, and it just made so much sense, so I like dropped everything and just came here. It was very fast, and it was just, it happened so quick because it was just an intense knowing that this is what I've been looking for so long, and I don't have to waste any more time.
Wow. Should we turn the phone sideways or just keep it like this?
That's fine.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, that's amazing. So when did you come to see Swamiji here then, in India?
So like, I first saw Swamiji in that Harataki video in June 2017. I realized who he was in August, and then I came here in October.
Wow. Great. So how has it been for you so far?
It's been like exactly like what I've been looking for, but not what I expected.
Yeah.
So like it's been like intense, this transformation, this constantly working through all my limitations, but like at the same time effortless. Like if I'm willing to let go of them, I break through them with ease. If I'm not willing to let go, it will just be in my face constantly until I'm like, all right, fine, I'll let go of this, and then I'll transform even faster. So that's what I've really gotten from being here. And then you can just see through things a lot clearer. You don't have to like just fall into traps like back in the Matrix. You don't see things for how they are sometimes, unless you're like really like meditating and making sure you stay in that high state of consciousness. You can easily get fallen into a trap and get caught up in limited thought processes and everything. So it's been really effortless but intense at the same time.
So that's cool. So how about other people that you know back in the United States that you know? How have they responded to whatever? Like, I don't know how many years this change has been happening for you, but
now the people I was open to about my change, because over the past few years I've kept myself going into a higher state of consciousness and exploring these things. So people who are open to that, and I could communicate to that with, they're very happy with it, and I'm helping them, and we're on their journeys, and like when I talk to them, it's just breakthroughs very instantly. And the people who I didn't have that with, at first it was kind of like an upset. It seemed like out of nowhere. But then like they see my videos, when I talk to them, they see my transform. They see how I transform, and like they're slowly warming up to it because they see how well it's impacting.
Yeah. Wow. So that's cool. So what do you think is like the most kind of beneficial thing of being, here and being with Swamiji?
the most beneficial thing?
Yeah.
As in what way?
I mean, if you just think about, if you think about yourself and your own, I guess really like what is the purpose of our life? What is necessary? That what has to happen for us, or even what do you feel is like the biggest part of being here or being with Swamiji that has like made the biggest change for you, or that is most beneficial?
Yeah. Okay. So, biggest thing for me is learning to have gratitude for life, and like every aspect too. Like, cause I feel like what a lot of people have a hard time accepting, and I did too. Like even when I was like really starting to like get it before, is understanding why they're suffering and actually having gratitude for suffering and understanding how it makes you have breakthroughs and really transform. So having gratitude for every single aspect of life is like the most important thing you can have in life, and that's when you will have like that's the power, that's where the powerfulness comes from, where you can help others. And that's the other part is helping others people manifest their reality and being powerful and helping each other evolve, and to know that I'm in the breathing space of Sadashiva and a part of his mission, and realizing that gratitude and being able to help others and doing the best thing for humanity, that's the greatest thing I can do. So that's the biggest benefit from being here.
Yeah, definitely. Great. So, okay, that's cool. So where do you go from here, from now, from this place, from this space? What happens for you in the future now?
Man, I don't. That's kind of where I've been right now, like thinking about what from here. All I know is right at this moment, I gotta help other people cause their reality, and I really gotta spread the transformation I've learned, and that's all I'm really focused on at the moment, because once I do that, I'll be also causing my reality and being able to manifest what I want. So that's my focus right now. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what is that transformation? Like, what is that thing that you've gotten, for example, or how does it happen for other people, or how do you do that? Like, if you want to cause some other person's reality in the best way, or I guess the best way, how do you do it?
It's realizing that the cognitions you hold is what manifests your reality, and you have power over those cognitions. So when you have that space of gratitude and you're radiating that energy of gratitude, and your thought processes are all coming from a space of gratitude, that's what life's going to give back to you, is reasons to feel gratitude, and you will constantly be in this high space of radiating what you want effortlessly and giving that to other people, because people will feel what you're radiating and will also be in a space of gratitude. And that's what we're here for, is just to be grateful for this life and celebrate that we're having this experience, and be able to have fun with that and to celebrate that by manifesting whatever you want. So that's really what the message is.
Cool. So how does manifesting work? How does that happen?
How it works, one, by having that space of gratitude, realizing that you have control over your thought cognitions and you can easily switch them, and to really understand what Swamiji is doing, who he is, what Hinduism is, and understand how we can live the best lifestyle. And that comes from following the truth of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, because that is what we have been built on. That's the science of living the highest life.
So is there some people who should do this on their own? They shouldn't take help from Swamiji, or is it possible, whatever you're talking about, the manifesting, is it possible to do that on your own?
Yes and no, I feel like. Although, yes, like some people I don't feel are ready for the breakthrough of experiencing really what Swamiji has to offer and life has to offer when they really have that breakthrough and realize their true powerfulness. I don't feel like some people have to work through some things or it will scare them off, but that all happens naturally. So like if you know Swamiji and you already have come to these realizations, then you're ready, you're already here. So it's really a sense of once you know it, and you already are there. If you don't know it, then that's where you're supposed to be at that moment in time.
So that's cool. So what is so for you, like for yourself, what is the most important thing that you want to tell or you want to share with people, basically, for your life, actually? What is the important thing for you?
Realize through gratitude, realize through all the capabilities we have and the understanding that we're not just human. We are consciousness. We are everything. We are oneness. And for me, back in the Matrix, I took that in. I was like, okay, we're everything. I am you. I am energy. I'm the source of all creations. But then I still was believing like, okay, I need to work the 9-to-5 job. I need to do this to make money. And just staying in those limited cognitions while having this realization. And that's why I felt so stuck. So to really take a jump and stand up for the cognitions you know are true and make them happen, and don't become powerless to your habitual patterns you've learned throughout your life. Break through them. Don't be limited anymore. And really through following Swamiji's teachings, just catapults you to do that. So yeah, that's the way, that's my learning from being here, and that's what I really want to convey to humanity.
So how does Swamiji support that? Why is it important to have him?
Because Swamiji, and I feel like this is hard for people to understand who have, like, because me back in the West, at first I've been Christian my entire life, and I knew there was more, but I felt like it wasn't religion. I feel like it's hard for some people to relate to Hinduism, especially when you first look at Hinduism. It's kind of overwhelming, and being conditioned in that way, it's kind of hard to take it all in. But understanding that Swamiji is Sadashiva, he's the creator, the sustainer, the rejuvenator, the ruler over delusion, and the liberator. All those aspects put into a human form to help liberate you, because that is all of creation. That is the source supporting you by taking a human form to raise your consciousness and help evolve humanity. Understanding that he is an incarnation of Sadashiva to help raise humanity, that just through following him, just listening to him speak, just taking in his being, just following his teachings, it will effortlessly boost you, because that's what he's here for, and that's why he's taken on the human form, to boost you, so you have something to relate to, because that's also what we've lacked. Is, yes, we know there's something higher, but you can't relate to it because you won't relate to this human form so intensely. So that's why there's a human form to relate to the higher, so you can see your higher. So that's why he's here. That's what will bring you to the higher state, and that's why he's here to bring you to the higher state.
So that's cool. So what is the experience that Swamiji gives? Like, is this something that you can, whatever it is that Swamiji is giving, is that kind of thing available in other places?
Yes, because once I realized Swamiji was my guru, and once I really like started to accept that, I saw him in every single thing that happened in my life, and every single action and why it was happening and everything that was going on. It transcends just the physical presence. He's taken on the physical presence, but as soon as you see his physical presence, he's everywhere. So, yes, it's available everywhere, and it's awesome that we have social media and all these forums to stay connected with him and take in his teachings and really be connected in every single possible way. So even when you're not in his physical presence, you feel him around you and are constantly breaking your patterns, stopping your delusion, and liberating yourself.
So what is the experience, or what is the thing that Swamiji gives? Like, what is it that you get from him that you don't get from other places? Like, what happens if you come into his breathing space or his experience or his darshan? What is that doesn't happen to people like on a regular basis, like living somewhere else, kind of thing?
Okay, so for me, like when I get like a darshan from Swamiji or am even near him, I feel just like my being, like my true being, explode out. Like when I get darshan, it's a completely like thoughtless state of bliss, and I'm just radiating so much energy. Like I can't sleep after a darshan because I just feel so blissful. And like whenever we're having like a procession and he's around, I can feel like my logical mind kind of just like flickering, trying to grab control, and then that fades away, and then I just fall into this state of bliss. And it's really just like your true being radiates what you've known to be there but have had struggled to connect with for your life. You finally can feel it fully, and that's what like being here and being around him really get to experience.
So what about like the third eye initiations and the third eye awakening and whatever powers are happening from there? What is it that he's giving actually that, I mean, as far as we know, you can't get you cannot get it anywhere else. I mean, there's no one, I mean, whoever's giving, whatever Swamiji, all these different powers Swamiji's giving, or casually or through a two-way video connection, he's doing these things, right? People spend their whole life meditating, trying to find out what third eye is. Swamiji looks at you once through the television, and then you can do remote viewing and body scanning. And so that kind of thing, what is he giving, and like, how does that change your life?
So he's literally giving you Sadashiva's energy. He's giving you his energy, his third eye, and that's being put into you. So you have his energy now, and it's a really subtle thing. Like you're like, okay, I just got initiated. I don't feel any different. And then you're like, kind of like, all right, I'm gonna manifest this with somebody. I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to. And then you go and do it, and then you're like, all right, wow, I just body scanned and was like 100% accurate. Like, where did this come from? And like the more you do it, the more you like get comfortable with that you're able to do this, even though you didn't really feel that change. But it's because like that's always been inside you. You just didn't know how to realize it without Swamiji's energy.
Yeah, exactly. So he makes stuff happen for us that is like, I mean, it's impossible for us to make happen for ourselves. And even like you're saying, we don't even notice anything has changed, and then all of a sudden you're able to like see into people's homes when you're talking to them and tell them what they're doing, or scan their body, or tell them what they're wearing, or what they're thinking, or what their blockages are, like why they're not manifesting wealth, why they're not healthy, what kind of things they can do to make themselves healthy. Just that intelligence, it comes through third eye, right? Yeah, it's totally awesome, and it's like the best way I can explain it really is it actually is just cosmic intelligence.
Yeah.
It's, you can just, I mean, there's nothing we can do to make it happen. Swamiji makes it happen. But if you can just sit, I mean, all I do is I just sit and I basically just kind of listen. And like, because even for so many years we've been around Swamiji, and so he wasn't doing this kind of initiation really. He was doing other kinds of things. So we were still able to do healing, and you still have a certain intuition and whatnot. But the third eye awakening he's given you, even when you're just walking around during the day and you see like a plant or something, you just know like if it's healthy or if it's not healthy or why it's not healthy. Or if you see I see people walking and I'll just like the information for what their mental setup, I just know. And I sometimes feel like stopping them and telling them, hey, I want to share this with you, you know?
Yeah, that happens throughout the day here. That's another great thing about being here is like the Sangha is so connected. Like whenever you're having an off day or you see how somebody else having an off day, it's like instant like synchronicity. You like help each other through it, and it's like all effortless. I really enjoy that aspect too, because like when you're manifesting powers, like you try to like come into it logically too, but like when you really just connect to Swamiji and let him go through you is when you manifest the powers. And we've all struggled with just like clinging to like the logical mind, like worshiping the logical mind throughout our life, and that's kept us like stuck in understanding all of reality. Once you like drop your logical mind is like when you really just get it. So power manifestation is a great way to reach those higher states where you're not so trapped by your logical mind. And that's why completion happens when you power manifest as well.
Yeah, it's insane. Like we had this one session last night just about like telling people what their blockages are for health, wealth, and relationships, and then also for finding out like if what they are actually integrated to as opposed to what they want to create in their life. That's just insane. You just look at someone and then you just know exactly where they're stuck, and you can just tell them.
Right.
And and so the thing is for me is like when you look into third eye or you allow a third eye, I mean after strong initiation, or if you just like if you allow the third eye to happen, then like the one thing I was noticing yesterday, it was like we had a nighttime session. I think it was 11:45 I was thinking, but I guess we ended around 11 last night, I think. So I came there around 10, and I was actually feeling tired. I was feeling quite tired, and so but I thought, well, I'll just sit down and find out. And so I sat down, and then I honestly don't know what happened. I think like the description of the process we were going to do was being told, and so I was just listening to that. And I think what I think it was is the group of people were there, and they had been manifesting third eye powers, and I think it had just kind of created like a conscious kind of energy field, and so that like that third eye intelligence was, I think, kind of like swirling around that place. Because I sat down and I just started basically listening. I was a little bit sleepy. A few times I was kind of like dozing a little bit, but then just from sitting in that space, my body started waking up, and the energy just became so strong and so like pleasant actually, and I just felt awesome. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like relax with this energy. And then the instructions for manifesting the Shaktis, then I just said, okay, let that information come, and it just comes, and it's I mean, for me it was a huge breakthrough because of what they were telling about me, what my blockages were. I tell you, like, if you know yourself is one thing, but if someone else sits down and like says it in their words, in their way, you're like, it was really shocking. I was listening so intently, you know. I was like, oh my God, can you please explain more? But it was from different dimensions. If it was health, wealth, relationships, and what I was integrated to, it was all showing the same thing basically that I'm creating it. I can create what I want. And even if I think that what's happening right now is like I'm feeling like I'm sacrificing to do it, I still have the choice that I can actually step back and see what's going on in my life right now is actually something I want. Like if I think of being a big being and helping a lot of people and doing something that is beneficial to people and living that way, then anything that's an issue in my life, I just have to look at it in the space of I'm providing a space for people to grow.
Right.
You know, this was kind of the thing that was being told to me, and it was a huge breakthrough for me last night. And Third Eye is just so awesome. It really is. And I mean, we can heal those incompletions from people. It's so beautiful because, like I was saying, then when you're if you sit into the space of Third Eye, I mean, only with Swamiji's blessings, of course, the way that he makes energy flow and the intelligence in you, if you just sit in that conscious space for some time, the energy, like you're saying, becomes so like profound and explosive. It's such a powerful experience.
Yes.
And anything you want, that just comes to you as knowing, and you can basically do anything. It's just your like intention to be open for it to happen. And so when you're manifesting that space and then you're carrying that conscious energy, then when you start moving around in different places, that's still with you and that intelligence is still there. And that's one of the most awesome things for me is when you're living your day and it's like I was having kind of a long morning before I had breakfast this morning, but I was feeling so awesome from last night, and I was like, should I just quickly stop and have breakfast, or should I keep going with what we're doing and try to finish this project? And I had a lot more clarity and a lot more confidence and a lot more will persistence, but the strength to just decide that no, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish this project, and it was so much easier, and I had so much more power about it. It wasn't powerlessness that I would stop and have my breakfast and come back, but I had a lot of clarity about what the choice was and what effects there may be, and so that for me is a really cool thing, is that kind of thing. And whenever I do completion with Kalabarava, it's the same thing. He gives so much energy and powerfulness to like easily do what you want. It's like it's like those tumbleweeds that roll in the wind, or like those fluffy seeds that come off of trees or whatever. The wind will just blow them in different directions, and it's generally we are like that when we're guided by our minds and our emotions. But when you sit with Swamiji's strength of Third Eye and expressing, yourself that he's giving to you, it kind of, in a sense, it grounds you, but basically is connecting to you this huge energy source that is like limitless and really in every cell. And it's like I really, when I sit with those manifesting powers sessions, I really feel like I'm enveloped by like an orb of energy. And my whole body is expressing it's not just my mind, and not just my words. It's like everything here is just, it's kind of like being a computer database, and if you want anything, you just have to like swipe and pull it up, and it's just, but it's a conscious intention instead.
Exactly,
So I really feel once you sit in that space for some time, it becomes so strong. Then after that, I really feel like instead of being that tumbleweed that's blowing around, you're like a bowling ball, and the bowling ball is going the direction you want, and you can just kind of like go with it and be more intelligent and relaxed and make more what you want to happen, because you're already going with so much like powerfulness.
Well put.
So it's for me, that's one of the coolest things, and it always has been since when I first met Swamiji, is that he lets you go live your life how you want to live it and where you want to live it, but he supports you with like all the intelligence and energy and knowledge and everything. So he's not about like gathering people that he's controlling and limiting. He gives you everything that no one else can give you, and you can take it anywhere you want and do anything you want that's not hurting anyone. You can do anything you want to create your life as you want. He gives you, he gives you true, like in that sense, true freedom to do whatever you want. And so that's what I like, is like we're working with the Third Eye, and while you're walking around in the day, you just know, like, you know about other people, you know about yourself, you know about how your patterns are like fighting to control you. So much cosmic intelligence happens in us.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's been one of the cool things of Swamiji giving third eye. It's not just yoga, it's not just like making your body strong. He literally gives you third eye intelligence, which is limitless cosmic intelligence, and it's with you all day about every aspect of your entire life. So it's cool. Well, thanks for sharing, and we'll do it again for sure.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see you
Adheenam,
next time.
everybody.
Nitya Jnanatmananda.